let's do some Sunday residential work. Because my basement AC is frozen up. We found this out because, so last week, no, I don't know, a couple weeks ago, I had an issue with a condensate pump and a plugged trap on the main unit, which is this upstairs unit right here. So I've also got a basement unit. I've got like a basement apartment here. And it flooded. And this was not connected. So you can scream at me, that's correct. And this is what we found. So obviously it's flooded because ice is melting everywhere and not just going into the pump. But we can't do anything. So this is an old R22 unit, maybe low on charge. May just, who knows, but I can't do anything until we get the ice melted. So I'm gonna put this cover actually back on. I can't just leave it running open, you'll burn up the motor. But I'm gonna put the cover half on, turn the fan on and let it melt this ice, and we'll circle back around. All right, so I turned on the fan. I've left this cracked, but I can't just leave it wide open because you'll overamp the motor and it'll blow. Look, am I the only one this applies to? Like, my outside condensing unit I've taken care of, but in here, it's just, I just abandon it and assume it's on autopilot. So, but look at this. This is broke. So, like, all the P-traps in the world aren't going to help anything. We're just sucking air straight in there. Well, the pump's functional. I am going to run. I really feel like I want to get a new pan. I don't know whether this pan is leaking or just overflowed, but definitely going to clean this up, test it, make sure it works, and then interrupt my red to the thermostat with that, so if this pan overflows again, it shuts down the thermostat. Alright, so let me get a plug for this. Give this some time to melt. Oh, happy Sunday, huh? So it just hit me. This is a heat pump system. Let's fire it up. If we turn the heat on. Yep. We're gonna run heat through the evaporator. Alrighty. Let's make short work of it now. You can see the slurping going on. We've got air intrusions. They all need to be taped up. What do you want to bet? We got some refrigerant leaks in there. So we are making great headway on the coil. So the coil, the top and this side of the coil are completely clear. This right side is still draining. All right, so good to go. And a little piece of sheet that fell down in here. I'll pull this out just because there's no sense in waiting for it to melt. If I can grab it. There we go. Alright, I'm going to put all this back together. And of all the things to get bit by today, you know what I'm not going to have? A 3/4 cap, PVC cap. So, plastic glove it is. I'm also going to run, I'm going to go ahead and pull a wire down here for this, or interrupt the thermostat. Then we're going to fire it up, put some gauges on the outside, and see if we froze up because we're low on gas. All right. We now have a functioning thermostat interrupter. And I've actually taped everything shut. All right, so as the unit's running, my units are in the shade, but remember there's a pretty good heat load on this inside. So R22 Alright, look at right there. Follow that temperature up. We're running right at 30 degrees. 50 psi, less than 200. That's too low. So I'm gonna get a temperature clamp. We're gonna go, this is not cold enough coming back. So we have to use this, right, which is your superheat coming back to really get the charge right. But I can tell you, based on the fact that we have a high suction that's going to go down, we're definitely sure. All right, so I brought us to a place where we were running 40. I've actually disconnected. This is just what was on it. We were running 40 suction pressure and 220 head, which was about right. And then when I checked my superheat, I was coming back at about 58. So with the temperature outside and then the wet bulb of 76 inside, which I used my little CPS sensor for, I looked up the target superheat and it said it was between 18 and 20. So I'm not the residential superheat guy, especially for these units. So one of you guys may scream at me if you want, but when the pressures looked good to me, I ran it through the superheat calculator and it said I was about right. So, yeah, I'm gonna put the gauges back in the truck. Absolute rule, right? Never mix refrigerants, no matter what the guy at the parts house tells you. He may be like, oh yeah, you can mix a little this and that. That's a terrible idea. Even if they tell you 422B, you can drop right on top of R22 with no ill effects. People tell you that. You can take your own chances if you want to go with the refrigeration cocktail. 422 dumps right on top of R22.